Hello, 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 everybody. It is so nice to get to be here with you. Oh, let's back this up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Good morning, good day, good evening. Bonjour, bonne nuit. Hello, wherever you are in the world. It is a pleasure to get to be here with you. My name is Kaylin, and every Sunday I log on here on the YouTube Live to join you wonderful people to do some silent meditation, some spiritual work together. Every week I choose a topic or an idea to explore that I think will be of benefit and of value to you. So this week, I thought a fun topic to explore is how do we embrace having an easier life? That may sound like duh sort of idea, like, oh, come on, Kalen. All of us would have taken an easier option if it were available. But I don't think that's true. I think many of us make our lives more difficult and more challenging than they necessarily need to be. And so, can we work on that? Also, before we begin, I just want to offer a sincere apology and regret for not being able to be here last Sunday. As you may have seen on my other social platforms, YouTube prevented me from posting anything or going live for an entire week because of an interview I did a year and a half ago with somebody who was a sexual educator. And when I posted a link to their website, now a year and a half later, YouTube had issues with it, flagged it as being pornographic, and gave a strike to my channel. I have asked for an appeal. It's been now 10 days. I still have not heard back, which is unusual. I've been following up. But it's just very frustrating because, in my view, I didn't do anything wrong. And, everything I try to offer on this channel is meant to come from an educational and supportive point of view. So my apologies for not being able to put word on YouTube that I wouldn't be here. They won't even let you post updates of that kind. So here we are this week, and I am very grateful to get to have this time with you all. So thank you. All right, so we're going to dive in. Please get comfortable. I'm sitting on the ground, but if you'd rather sit in a chair or lie down, please do. It will make you feel good and able to relax. We're going to take a couple deep breaths. So join me. Just let everything go. You can close your eyes or look softly at the screen ahead of you. And I always think it's really great to set the intention for the next little period of time. There is nothing else you need to be doing. There's nowhere else you need to be, no one else you're accountable to, nothing you need to answer or respond to. This is just your time for you. So just hold that intention, let everything else go, and just be here. If you want to take some audible sighs as you exhale, feel free. Hello to everybody on the chat. Trevor, Joseph, Manish, Elk, Marie, Johnny. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Glad to have you here. And allow yourself to just settle. Bring your mind back to this moment. Allow everything to get a little fuzzy, a little blurry. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the expansion of your belly. I invite you particularly tonight to just pay attention to where do you most experience your breath. For a lot of people, we breathe up here in the chest region, which is normal. If you find yourself breathing that way, that's okay. But it can induce a stress response in the body by breathing what's called clavicularly. You're breathing up here by your collarbones, as opposed to diaphragmatic breathing, which happens more here where your diaphragm is. You know if you're breathing diaphragmatically if your belly presses out on the inhale and then contracts on the exhale. Now, when we breathe into the belly, when we do the diaphragmatic breathing, it actually stimulates what's called the vagus nerve in the body. It's the longest nerve in the body, and it's also responsible for stimulating what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, we have the sympathetic nervous system, which is what we're used to exploring, we're used to talking about it. Hey, Mary, welcome. It is that which gets us moving and gets us going. It's responsible for the fight or flight response in the body. It's run by the amygdala, the lizard brain, that tiny little part at the base of your brain. But the parallel and opposite part of our nervous system is called the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's what's responsible for healing, for rebuilding, for rest. So as we explore this topic today of how do we live an easier life, a great way to start is just by noticing our breath. Because if you're breathing clavicularly up here in the chest, that's clavicular breathing. You're stimulating your nervous system. You're stimulating that fight or flight response. It's making you more agitated. Versus if you're breathing with your whole body, you're stimulating that parasympathetic nervous system, which means you're going to feel better. Life is going to feel easier. You're going to feel less stressed out. So do that for just a moment. I want you to just see if you can breathe deeper within you. And if that's difficult, place your hands on your belly and just say silently to yourself, soft belly, soft belly, soft belly, over and over, soft belly. Keep breathing, keep following the breath. A light was bothering me. Now I'm breathing in and out through the mouth just so you can hear my breath more easily, but it's better to breathe in and out through the nose. Now, there is some research done to suggest that rates of breathing can sometimes correlate with lifespan and longevity. But the quicker you breathe, the shorter a lifespan. The slower you breathe, the longer. We can see this across species. Canine, a dog, breathes very quickly a lot of the time. And their lifespan is pretty short, about 15 years. And we see species that live very long lives, like turtles. They actually breathe one breath about every 2 minutes. Mr. Rosuri, welcome. Hey, Robert, welcome. And part of what's so great about breathing slower, getting these chill vibes on through the parasympathetic nervous system is things stop seeming so intense or so drastic. When we are amped up, it feels like everything is crowding in on us. We've got to get a ton of shit done. Everything seems like it's really important, critical. But when we're in a relaxed state, it's fine. We'll be okay. We can take our time. Things seem less urgent. Now, what's interesting, and this ties into this week's video I just posted yesterday, so if you haven't watched it, I recommend checking it out. It's about doing nothing, learning to chill out and just not be productive. But something to keep in mind is our devices, our phones, our tablets, our watches, our computers, are designed to stimulate our nervous system. They're designed to create a little response. Every notification we get causes us to become more alert. It causes a spike in cortisol. So we are constantly engaged with a world that is trying to keep us agitated. Because if you're agitated, you're going to respond, you're going to engage, you're going to click, you're going to swipe, you're going to scroll. But if you're mellow, if you're chilled out, maybe you can let that phone call roll to voicemail. Maybe you don't have to respond to that text message right away. Maybe you don't need to just check that update. Thanks, Big Benny. Glad you agree. And so we're surrounded by stimuli that is telling you, hey, be tense, be worked up. It's part of the reason I turn off all my phone notifications except for phone calls and for text messages. I don't need to get an update from Instagram. I don't need to get an update from YouTube. I don't need to know an email came in. I can check all that at my leisure. If you're going to text me or call me, it's usually something important and somebody I actually know and want to hear from. So this is a great way to start this idea of how do we live more easily? But there's a bigger, more existential, more all-encompassing sort of idea that I think we need to explore today, and that is the idea of why are we here? What are we here for? What is our purpose? And I'm sure when I ask those questions, certain answers probably come to mind. Things like, well, I'm here to be happy. I'm here to make a difference in the world. I'm doing my job. A lot of things come up. And if you're anything like me, I spent a large part of my life thinking that finding fulfillment through achievement or through tasks would make me happy. And I have and do still too often invest myself in the idea that accomplishment makes me feel fulfilled. But when we dig a little bit deeper, the truth is we are here on this planet for the joy of it, for the joy of living, for the joy of having these experiences. Hello, welcome Napa, California. And so much of what makes our life difficult is self-imposed. Now, don't get me wrong, please let me clarify. I'm not here to say that the challenges in your life are entirely self-made or that you could have, a quote unquote easy life just laying on a beach every day. But I am saying for every single one of us, we do make things harder than they need to be. We stress out more than we need to. We hyperfixate on little shit that doesn't matter. We get stressed out about deadlines that doesn't really matter if they're reached, or milestones that we have to accomplish. And it's all just a big self-imposed game, a lot of it. And again, please don't misunderstand me. If you have kids, you need to feed them. If you have responsibilities, you need to take care of them. But there's so much beyond that that we just freak the heck out about, that we overinvest in. What are the things that really matter to you? For me, something I often talk about with my life partner, my husband, is one of our great priorities is spending time together, getting to share space together, getting to enjoy each other's presence. Like today, for example, we spent much of our day just hanging out. We went for a walk with the dogs, we came back, we ate a little bit, we cuddled, we took a nap, we listened to an audiobook. Didn't accomplish a lot, but was it meaningful? Now, would it have been very easy for me to create a long to-do list of like, well, we need to go to the grocery store. And, it's a quiet weekend at the National Mall. We should take advantage of that and go check out a couple museums. And we should A, B, and C to maximize our time. I've got groceries in the fridge for a couple more days. Didn't have to get done today. I love museums. I love going to explore them and take advantage of this amazing city we live in Washington, D.C. But I didn't have to go today. I can see that all these things that are supposed to be done didn't necessarily need to be done at this moment. And the thing that actually mattered most was having connection time. Hey, Amsterdam, welcome. You're here late. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning there, 2. Where are you making life harder than it needs to be? Where are you unintentionally choosing a more difficult life because society programmed you to do it? Because it programmed you to answer your phone, reply to that message, deal with that app, take that extra project, do that job, go to that party. When did any of that really matter to you? Was that something that was really important to you? Vinny, Abel, welcome. In this week's video I posted, I talked about how in the earlier parts of the 20th century, philosophers and researchers really projected that by the end of the 20th century, we'd be working just a couple hours a day because of technology improving and if innovations improving and automation improving, that we would be able to get the same amount done in a fraction of the time. And that did prove to be true. We were able to get things done in such a shorter amount of time. Even looking at our households, pre-washing machines, dishwashers, electric ovens, microwaves, it took a lot longer to get things accomplished at home. But are we less busy in the household? Are you working fewer hours at work? The answer is no. Because we didn't take that time for leisure, we didn't take that time for self. We just sped up and did more and filled our schedule with more. And not usually filling it with meaningful things, but just filling it to stay busy. Bonsoir, Daniel. Look at all the things that you do, all the choices you make, all the hours you invest in things that don't matter. How many of you look at your little screen reports that tell you how much time you're using on apps, how much time you're engaged with your phone? And do you ever look at it and cringe and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I spent that long on Instagram or TikTok? That wasn't a meaningful use. It wasn't a fulfilling use of my life force, of my day. Alan, Rajan, welcome. One of the things I flag for myself are what are the things that I never regret spending time on. I never look back and say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Reading is a big one for me. I love a good book. I feel nourished and changed by a good book. Fiction, nonfiction, doesn't matter. And, they show us that our brains, when we're reading or listening to a story, operate in the same way as if we were experiencing it. We acquire those stories as part of our identity, which is very different from watching a movie or TV. I never regret reading. Spending time outside in nature, going for a walk, playing with my dogs, having conversation with my husband, napping, meditating, chanting, prayer, doing something creative, painting, sewing, writing, dancing, helping someone else, either in a little way, like holding the door for them or picking something up for them, or in a big way, coaching them, guiding them in a one-on-one session. I never regret any of my time spent doing that. Those activities feel fun and easy and nourishing. But then there's other activities that I do that fill my time, and then I wonder where it goes. And so regardless of your financial situation, regardless of how much you have to work, there is an aspect of perspective, there is an aspect of choice, there is an aspect of mindset of how are you going through your day, making things more difficult by not breathing the right way, by not putting your focus where it belongs, by not paying attention to the things that matter, by stressing out about little shit that, I feel like a good rule of thumb is if in a year you'll not remember this moment, you'll not remember this thing that you're freaking out about, then it was never worth your energy in the first place. If it is that trivial that you can't remember 12 months from now, it probably doesn't matter that much. But how often do we invest in those things? I know I do. Totally, Alec, I agree. We can have an easier life without changing jobs, without changing our living situation, without changing a lot, but just simply changing what's going on in here. Breathing, slowing down, being intentional about what we choose to give our focus and what we don't. Choosing things that feel life-giving, nourishing, and deeply enjoyable. Choosing less of the things that people have foisted upon us, that don't make us feel better. And I'm not going to say that that's an easy thing to do because, again, our lives are programmed to distract us. Our lives are programmed. People invest a lot of money and research and resources to make it difficult to choose differently. Difficult to choose slow, intentional living. Difficult to take time out of your Sunday night to join some weird shirtless guy on YouTube to meditate and ask soulful questions. Breathe into yourself and feel in yourself, feel in your totality that you are a being of peace, of joy, of light. That is your truth. You're not anxious. You're not stressed out. You're not overworked. That may be your temporary experience, but it's not your truth. You at your core are not broken. You at your core are not anything other than the divine light made manifest on earth. Ola Hore. Let go of that which is keeping you from your happiest, easiest, most joyful experience of self. You are blessed. You are whole. You are well. You are moving into your most full, joyful, complete, easy state of being. You radiate light and joy. You are becoming the kind of person that other people say, "Oh, I aspire to be like you." You are becoming your truth. You are dwelling in joy, dwelling in peace, dwelling in deliciousness, sexiness, play. And you are moving into a life aligned with your highest good. This is true for you now. Notice, without judgment, notice where are you making things more difficult than they need to be. Notice where are you stepping out of the present moment and into a state of frustration, distraction, anger. And when are you feeling in alignment, peaceful, connected, joyful? Thanks, Rob. Where can you choose easier, simpler, kinder to yourself and others? And realize that everything you've been looking for has always been within. It's all right in here. Take a deep breath in and know that all of this is true for you now. You are everything you aspire to be. All is well. All has been well. All will be well. Envision a light shining out of the middle of your chest, radiating outwards. This light shines in all directions, bathing you in a brilliant rainbow glow. May you know your peace. May you know your truth. May you know your light. May you know your worth, your beauty, your divinity. Thank you all for taking some time with me this Sunday night. Again, if you missed my announcement at the beginning, my apologies for not being here last week. YouTube issued a strike for something totally outside my control, and they do not allow you to post or go live for 1 week when that happens. I've appealed it. I still have not heard back. So I'm hoping that will be taken care of soon. In the meantime, thank you all for your love and support. If you love this channel and want to, get even more in depth, go behind the scenes, learn more about what's going on in my life, Patreon is a great place to go. You get access to my video a day early before everyone else. Also get to meet a community of wonderful people who are doing this kind of work. I also post exclusive photos, videos, and updates there that I don't share on YouTube. Um, Thanks, Dallas. I appreciate it. Other than that, if you ever have any special requests, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to talk on a specific topic, either here on YouTube Live or in an edited video. And if you ever need any one-on-one support, I'm always here. Just shoot me an email and I'll always reply back. All right, y'all. It's Sunday night. Go have dinner, or Monday morning, I guess, for some of you. Go have breakfast, but enjoy yourself. Go do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel fed, happy, and well. And I'll see you next time. Much love to you guys. Thanks, Anthony. Thanks, Alec. Have a good night.